Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of a Crypto Bellwether. I don't always tell you what you want to hear, but I tell you what you need to hear to make an informed decision. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with Internet Computer, but it had one of the biggest launches in crypto history. It absolutely exploded. Now, we're going to dive into what happened after that, but when I looked at this Layer 1 project many months ago, I came to the conclusion, yes, has a great founder, great team, great technology, but it's just not a project I think I'm going to dive into. And I didn't see any institutional money getting back into it, and I didn't like the history of the project, and we'll touch base on that. But that may have all changed with the news that they just came out, because this might be game-changing news. Now, a lot of people say stuff like that just for clickbait or to get your attention. But guys, from talking to developers, literally, this may have changed the game when it comes to Bitcoin. Now, a lot of people believe, that Bitcoin is old and slow technology, doesn't have a path to DeFi or smart contracts, things like that. Well, that's the news. Internet Computer just came up. I guess it would be a protocol that you can have smart contracts with Bitcoin, and that leads you into DeFi and the entire ecosystem that pretty much all layer ones have, if I'm understanding this correctly. Now, check this out, guys. It basically said, Internet Computer is launching smart contracts on for blockchain. It's basically going to be a layer 2. And I'll read what it says. It says blockchains are like walled gardens, incapable of interaction between one another. When this comes to Bitcoin applications, such as DeFi applications, that could benefit most from interacting with the world's largest cryptocurrencies do not have the ability to do so. The Internet Computer's integration with Bitcoin is a true game changer for the industry, finally bringing smart contract functionality to Bitcoin and enabling a whole new landscape of DeFi and dApp development never before possible using BTC. Sounds like game-changing technology to me. Now, I'm going to give you my perspective, and then I'm going to tell you some background information, and we'll take a look at the chart. Here's my thought in the future. I understand how Bitcoin maxis are, and I understand how people say, there's it's old technology, and you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't innovate with blockchain. But when I've talked to developers that are Bitcoin maxis, they've always said, look, in the future, everything that you think you can do with all these other blockchains, we're going to be able to do with the Bitcoin ecosystem. Well, at the time, I didn't understand that whatsoever. But here's what I kind of believe now. Now, believe me, guys, I am not a developer. But, I do eat, drink, and sleep crypto literally about 10 hours a day for over a year now. And the way I understand it is you got Bitcoin is the most decentralized, secure crypto out there, period. It stands alone. Well, then you got like the Lightning Network and now this project that are like layer 2s. Well, in the future, you're probably going to have layer 3s, 4s, 5s, 6. So you can't compare Bitcoin to all this other really fast, scalable technology without comparing the ecosystem. That's what people do to Ethereum. They're like, Ethereum's slow and it can't scale. Well, when you stack projects like Matic on top of it, that will compete with pretty much any technology, and it is getting easier to scale every single day. So you got to compare the ecosystems. And I believe, fast forward, I don't know, 10 years from now, you're going to have two massive ecosystems. You're going to have the Bitcoin ecosystem and the Web3, whatever that is, Ethereum, XRP, whatever it is, that ecosystem. And that's going to be more of a hybrid, decentralized, centralized, controllable ecosystem. And the reason I believe there's going to be two is because, half of the world, or a huge part of the world, does not like someone having control of their money or their resources. Just like the world, when the world's all getting along and they want to be friends, and then we have an issue and you cut off their money supply, like what's going on with America and, say, Russia right now, that's not cool. So therefore, Russia and a lot of countries, probably all the BRIC nations, never, ever want to dive in to the other ecosystem where the American government can pick up a phone and cancel whatever it is that they're up to. So you're going to have two different ecosystems. Now, that being said, my guess is, yes, they'll go hand in hand and have interoperability between them when they need it, but they will both be able to, you'll be able to do whatever you want in both ecosystems without ever crossing over. That's my educated guess. Now, here's the things you need to know about Internet Computer. Now, when it launched, it was explosive. It ran up to like $600 or $368 on launch. Now, here's briefly what I read, just to make you understand kind of the background. They locked a lot of the early investors. And what they did, supposedly, and I don't know, I never got the real answer, and I only spent about an hour or so researching it. But basically, when they launched, it seems like just the founders and the people really involved in the project got to sell and made a ton of money. And as you can tell, that thing went from like $368 and now it's at $4. But not only is it at $4 now, that would be normal. However, look where it went, like immediately. It went from 368 down to like 110, and then, it dropped down to $22 and went sideways for many years. That put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. Now, I believe, if my memory serves me, and I didn't go back over my old research, so I'm doing it by memory, the founder came from, I believe, Goldman Sachs. The guys are really, really smart. It's a top-notch project. From my understanding, the developers tell me it's really good tech. But that's where we sit now. So, is this a project you want to invest in? I'm really curious. Let me know what you think in the comments section. And if you know about the history and the people involved and know something I don't know, please let me know, because I'll share that with everyone else. And I'll do a deeper dive once this all gets out, and we take a look and see if it's something we want to invest in. Now, I don't like the fact that people can dump on me. I don't like centralized projects. I don't like projects with bad track records, but maybe they can fix that, because they can fix pretty much anything if they choose to. But you definitely don't want to start stacking your money into a project with a history of dumping on you, and they do it again and again and again. No matter how good the tech or how big this could be for the ecosystem, for them and Bitcoin, that's something I'm going to have to dive into, and we'll revisit that at a later date. But guys, if you look at this project right now, it's at $4. $4. Well, if it goes back to 368, that's like a 95x just to take out its old high. So I don't know. Maybe it's worth taking a look at. That being said, it didn't really pump from this news, but I've kind of surfed around. A lot of developers are thinking it's a big, big deal. And when a developer tells me something is a big deal, I try to kind of pay attention to that. And if it all works out, it's going to explode the Bitcoin ecosystem, just like what Lightning has done for payments. I believe long term, guys, Bitcoin is going to be the ecosystem that is going to be where the big money goes. I mean, it's going to go across the board, but if you're looking for a more conservative echo chamber, it's probably going to be the Bitcoin one. Now, remember, this is not financial advice, and if there's nothing if I haven't learned anything, I've learned the fact that crypto is bizarrely risky. Even the most conservative project like Bitcoin, this is a risky proposition across the board. Now, I do believe, for me, Bitcoin is about as risky as just Apple, something like that, Amazon, Tesla. That's just me. Now, the rest of crypto, it's not really the projects. I can get behind some of the tech and the projects, but it's just the risk of being dumped on. It's the risk of hacks and stuff like that, where to park your money. That's the risky part of crypto. I personally can't wait for regulation. And I do know, guys, to end on a good note, a positive note, because we all need some positive, energy. The next bull run is going to be absolutely explosive. And when we get regulation, I am 100% positive that Bitcoin and Ethereum is going to absolutely explode. And then once you start seeing this DeFi build out and smart contracts on Bitcoin, if that's really going to happen, wow, I can't even imagine how good that investment is going to look to Wall Street, because that's the conservative side of crypto. Again, not financial advice, and there is no conservative side. But I'm telling you, what I'm seeing when I do all this research is that these custodial corporations are locking in across the globe with every single bank. And to start with, they only are going to custody Bitcoin and Ethereum to start with. The rest will come. But right now, guys, there's a line out the door. If there was regulation and a spot ETF on a spot contract on Bitcoin, the adoption and the move of Wall Street into crypto would just absolutely blow your mind. I was looking at the derivative markets compared to the normal market, and when Bitcoin or when crypto was like at 1 trillion, the derivative market was at like 5 trillion. So we think of it as pretty small at that time. It's only a $1 trillion ecosystem or asset class, but Wall Street was doing another $4 trillion worth of trades behind the scenes. So that just shows you, once we get compliance, guys, I'm telling you, Bitcoin's going to go to the moon. And I have no doubt that Kathy Woods is not correct, that we will get to like $1 million. My guess is somewhere between 5 to 10 years, but I really feel comfortable saying 10 years. I know that's a big number, but the next bull run is going to go through 100 grand, in my opinion, changing gears. Anyway, guys, I didn't mean to ramble on, but let me know what you think in the comments sections about internet computer. Is it something you might invest in? I know you probably don't like the history like me, but this is a game changer technology. I really like the fact that it can be used as a layer 2 with that high-tech technology. I don't understand the inner workings, but I do understand this is going to be pretty big. I hope I'm right. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that notification so you don't miss anything. And either way, guys, hit that like button and come back and be part of this community. And remember, not financial advice. Take care.